everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. And today we've got the review of the 2021 Lexus RX 450h. I tell you, every day looks exactly the same in the winter here. Gray and dreary. This two-row hybrid version of the Lexus RX comes in at just under $60,000 for this F-Sport model. We're going to take it for a little drive here, talk about its pros, its cons, get out, take a look at it, and see if this is the RX you should spend your money on here in 2021. I've been pretty lukewarm about this car for the whole time it's been here. And oftentimes, it's these cars that are kind of decent, not awful, not great, that are the hardest to review. The Escalade, for example, the other car we have this week, super easy car to review because it's got really good things and really awful things. There's a bunch to talk about, new car, bada bing, bada boom, you got to review. This RX takes a bit more work. We're dealing with an older powertrain that's still pretty good, but starting to be outclassed here in 2021. You've got a very beautiful, if a tad outdated, Lexus interior. Excellent Mark Levinson audio system. Definitely no dating on that. And this sort of strange F-Sport guise that gives some styling updates, a little bit of aggressive look, the celestial blue paint. But at the same time, this is a luxury mid-size crossover, so you're only going to get so much hustle out of it. Paired with this CVT and a 3.5 liter V6 and battery electric power, doesn't exactly scream sport. The ride is good though. I think some smaller wheels might make for a little bit more bump absorption, but overall a decent amount of isolation. I really appreciate the very light steering. I'm a fan of light steering. Overall, chassis is competent, but like I said earlier, it's not exactly going to scream sports car to you. A few different drive modes, Eco, Normal, and Sport. Let's throw it into Sport here and do a little 60-0 braking test. Very uneventful, comes right to a stop. Let's get a little launch in. No fake shifting from the CVT. It pulls strong and gets us up to speed. That's about the only time I ever use sport mode in this car. Typically I'm driving around in normal or eco. Despite being a hybrid, this isn't exactly a fuel sipper. We took it on our highway fuel economy tests and only managed, what was it, like 26-ish miles per gallon? It's kind of hard to tell. But Chris up at the Topher also didn't experience fantastic fuel economy, but this is a bigger, heavier car and a decent amount of power for a hybrid. One strange thing with this model, no sunroof. I typically like driving hybrids around, but one of the downsides to this powertrain is it's very, very difficult for this RX to drive on electric power alone. Most hybrids, including Toyota hybrids, you can be ginger with the throttle and get it up to speed using just the battery and electric motor, but you have to be so gentle with the throttle in this car to do that. It does have an EV mode button, which will help you a little bit, but if you press the throttle too far down, engine's kicking on. See right there, I just barely leaned. You can see I didn't even get the power indicator up much at all, and the engine kicked on. And my battery's almost full, so it's just tough to do. And it's a little more disappointing because it's not the most refined hybrid handoff as well. When the engine starts up, you feel it and you hear it. Plenty of power to get up to highway speeds though. RX is a pretty decent highway cruiser. It's interesting to see a stock for your cruise control. You don't see too many of those these days, even in Toyotas. So you can hear even on this concrete highway, not too much road or wind noise. The seats are very comfortable. I didn't notice any sort of discomfort over my 2 hours in the seat for the highway fuel economy test. You do have adaptive cruise control. It's a little conservative, but it works well. And a fairly decent active lane keeping system as well. If there's anything that's grown on me in the RX after driving it around for a week, is its general usability. If you get a 350 model, you can get these for right about $50,000, and I think that's more of the value play. I really like the interior. I think it's well laid out. It looks good. I like the feeling of comfort, sedateness, and luxury from behind the steering wheel. But I wouldn't get the F-Sport package. I think getting anything sporty in a vehicle like this is pretty darn silly. Navigation works very well, and despite having the not-so-great Lexus trackpad, you also have a touchscreen in this car. So if you want to just reach up, especially if you're at a stop or something, make adjustments to the radio or the mapping system, you can just simply reach up and do that. This has the optional head-up display as well, and it works pretty well. For me, most of the polarizing aspects of the RX as a general model are subjective. I'm not a big fan of the looks. In this specific model I'm driving, I don't care for this color blue on this vehicle. I think it's a cool blue in general. I just wouldn't get it for a luxury crossover like this. I also don't care for these black wheels. And I don't care much for this powertrain. I'd be getting myself just the normal non-hybrid V6 in a nice pretty metallic color. Call it a day. Decent backup camera. Resolution's not fantastic, but the size is right. And you have a 360 view as well, which I appreciate. All the luxury goodies in this car, I don't think they really need to be gone over. Heated cooled seats, heated steering wheel, wireless device charging, all sorts of good stuff. But it's a pleasant cockpit to be in. I really have been comfortable, and it allows you to sort of leave the driving experience in the back of your mind and think about other things. Hopping out, you can see just kind of an interesting looking vehicle. Very sleek. Doesn't look quite that large. Like I said, I'd go without the black wheels, and this paint would be really cool on a sporty car, maybe a coupe, something like that. I just think it looks a little strange for this luxury vehicle, but I know a lot of other people really like it, so that's purely subjective. Power liftgate, of course. Bit slow though. Lots of room in the trunk. You can get an L version of this car, which is extended a bit and features a small third row. This one does not have that. Spare tire, like to see that. Nice carpeting, cargo cover. You can fold the seats from back here. Kind of coax them forward. You sort of have to pull it and push. Not the most luxurious way to do that, that's for sure. And these seats fold fairly flat. You can get a decent load surface. I guess this still probably has about a 15 to 20 degree rake. You can fold them 40, 20, 40 as well, so that's kind of neat. Go like this, separate those. If you needed to put something long in between the seats there but still have these up, you can do so. Second row is a really nice place to be in the RX. There's plenty of legroom and headroom. I'm 5'10" and have plenty of space. Everything looks good. Got those Mark Levinson speakers. What do you have for power points? 2 USB-A ports. Looks like they're labeled as 2.1 amps. Some vents and something that's kind of nice. Completely flat floor down here, so even the center seat has plenty of leg depth. Fold down armrest. Some nice cup holders. Absolutely no surprise that everything feels very quality in here. Lexus is one of the best luxury manufacturers for fit and finish, materials, quality, all that good stuff. So, similar conclusion we came to the Accord hybrid. Consider skipping the hybrid and just getting the base model, as it's a very good car with a so-so powertrain. So thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the RX, check the links in the description for our Mark Levinson audio review and our highway fuel economy test. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.